So let's now have a look at the big rock number 9, winning spirit, or how to establish, maintain, and even improve the winning team spirit despite the lockdown, despite the distance, despite the home office challenges, time zones, and cultures. Let me share a story. In 2006 and 2007, I was a project manager, and it was a global program establishing global shared services, and I was responsible for the rollout in Europe. So in my remit, we have to transfer 20 countries in Europe from local IT management to the newly established global shared services in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And initially I had on the team 2 people full-time. A German lady called Lena. She spoke 5 languages and was top organized, so the perfect PMO. And an Uzbek guy called Jamshid. He was larger than life individual. And we were supported by 5 global experts: HR, legal, and tax. HR because of the new organization, new reporting lines, new line managers, and so on. Legal because we have a new service level agreement between the global shared service organization and each of the countries. And then tax because we have a new recharging mechanism. And initially, it was a big enthusiasm. For me as a project manager and for the whole team, the first business trips to Kuala Lumpur, the project was on the radar of the global leadership team, so it was really big enthusiasm for us. But after the first roughly 3 months, the first 90 days, I've noticed that sometimes I'm trying to be the smartest person in the room, in the online room, not just to tell what is to be done, and now I think even the what has to be a team decision, but how exactly is to be done. And those people were experts. They knew much more in their field of expertise than me. And I thought to myself, what are you doing here? Instead of being a productivity factor, raising the productivity of the team, I become a break factor, and my burnout is just waiting behind the corner. That has to be done in a different way. And while I was intensely contemplating what to do, Jamshid left the team. He organized the career move for himself. And then instead of him came Pilar, a Spanish lady with a red mane and a bit of a harsh voice. And she was the one to bring the fresh wind of change. She was the one to suggest the personal lifeline, as we had in our first Big Rock, Personality in Focus. And I've seen the life journey of the team members, and I was amazed. So far, I was stupid enough to compete with them, and all of a sudden, I felt extremely grateful that I have a chance to work with such high-caliber experts, achieve so much in their life, not just their professional life. So 6 months down the road, we were already 5 in the European team. Erwin and Mark joined, Pilar, Lena, and myself. So I went to the project board and suggested that if we finish this 2 years project 3 months earlier, I suggest that all 30 people involved in the project go to Tenerife, Canary Islands. Why 30 people? 5 European team full-time, 5 global experts, and 20 people part-time in each of the countries, usually the IT managers, responsible for the transfer of each particular country. And Europe was by far the most complex region, because you have the European Workers' Councils. Doing organizational change in countries like Germany and France is a nightmare. So I suggested we finish 3 months earlier, all 30 people go for 2 days to Tenerife, Canary Islands. And they agreed. Why? The people cost of the project was €1 million per annum. If we finish 3 months earlier, we save 250,000, and with 50 of them, we go to Tenerife. I immediately announced this to the team, and the spirit just in a second was completely different. Particularly people from Uzbekistan and Belarus, which counted as Europe, were particularly happy of this potential prize. And Lena came up with creative reporting. So far we had a typical kind of traffic light reports, red, amber, green for project management. Now we've changed it drastically and went to an island, as you see on the slide, with a palm tree. And then we have 20 parachuters for each of the countries, which milestone after milestone, they were approaching the island. Initially was the competition who will land first on the island, but after the first few landing, it was irrelevant. Only if we all make it, And we all go to Tenerife, otherwise nobody goes. So week after the week, in the end, day after the day, the suspense has risen. You can see at a glance, looking at the report, who needs help, who is on the back, who can help. So it created a wonderful spirit of cooperation. And just one day before the deadline, just one day on the 30th of December 2007, the last parachuter from Uzbekistan landed on the island. Uzbekistan was number 3 country in terms of world bureaucracy. So we had a top customer feedback. The rush was not for the sake of quality. We have saved 200,000 euro net for the organization. And we had a fantastic party, as you see on the picture. What are the morals of this story? First, if you set a price, be generous. If you set an average price, people would not really move. But you can be generous because the organizational cost of delay is much higher. If you really deliver faster, you could fund a very proper and exciting price for the team. Second, announce it early enough. People, particularly in a virtual or hybrid context, they need more time to identify how cool it would be to celebrate together. Third, don't go for money. Money is important, you have bonus schemes and so on, but money devaluates. This price has to be a team experience. Traveling to exotic location works, but it's not the only price. I have clients like NGOs, organization, non-government organization, non-profit organization, which have zero budget, and they come up with a cool prices. One of them in Germany, they managed to get tickets for a Bayern Munich games from their sponsor without spending money, and they really went extra mile. The other one in Bulgaria, they had a virtual pizza party, low investment, but all locations or people joined at the same time, had pizza, same music, celebrated. So let the team decide. It could be an event, could be particular event or meeting celebrity in your industry. The team is creative enough to set the price, but it should be proper. Be generous, as I said, announce it early enough, go for a team experience as a prize, and last but not least, have a visual, like we have this island with the parachuters. Have a visual which at a glance you could see where we are towards our goal, who can help, who already finished or is approaching, who needs help. This will create collaboration, psychological safety, and people will go extra mile. So those were the four kind of lessons of this particular story. And it's not just about big projects and faster delivery and so on, or hitting the big goals. You could do smaller things in order to recognize the progress and maintain the winning spirit. And this I will tackle in the recognition, the big rock number 7, which is recognizing the progress, the number 1 reason for people leaving organizations. Not leaving organization, in fact, but leaving managers due to lack of recognition. So with the hybrid teams and the virtual teams, work with outstanding prize for outstanding performance. Don't give this exciting prize just for hitting the mark or a little bit more. Go for a really next level, outstanding performance, and have a really exciting prize which will galvanize your team. So your exercise here is think, what is the prize that will galvanize your team? Do the brainstorming yourself, even better, ask the team. Let them get with the ideas, stamp it, vote for it, see what is the idea that would really get them go extra mile. And then analyze what could be a visual reporting that can, at a glance, you could see the progress. I have an architect's bureau client, and they were doing things in the, they were developing houses, like streamlining the houses. So they had a suitcase which was filling with templates and so on. They were going for standardization. So there are many creative ideas. I'm sure your team will come up with those. So brainstorm on the price, brainstorm on the reporting, and you will be on the way of establishing the winning spirit for your team.